or guest house or any other place. And then you are talking about the experience, the attraction points, what the person would do. So if I take a car from here to Tamale, what am I going to do? Or what will I do along the way? That would be the experience. So and then put some margin, not a very small margin because it's a wholesaler, and then we'll give it to the retailers. So that store wholesaler do not make any contact to the consumers of the store. So they do not make any contact, direct contact to the consumers. So you can take maybe a Coca-Cola company as a store wholesaler. So when they produce the Coke, there's no way Coca-Cola company will sell a single Coke to you. They will never do that. So they will have to give it to a distributor, with the distributors will give it to their wholesalers and move that. In our case, the wholesaler becomes the one who puts the component together. And then we give it to the retailers. The retailers who then be the travel agencies and other tour operators on the market. Usually you find that the tour wholesaler, in some countries, the tour wholesaler do not even operate the tour. They do not operate the tour. They outsource the operation to the tour operator. So the tour operator could be that if it is a trip from here to Tamale, the tour wholesaler could have about 3 operators. So he has one that will operate the tour in Kumasi. He has one that will the tour in Tamale. And maybe if there's a Kentampo stop, there's a tour operator there. So the wholesaler will deal with maybe 3 operators and will not necessarily have to operate the tours that along the way. So that's the concept that is missing in Ghana tourism markets. So in our system here, there's no distinguished tour wholesaler in Ghana whose job is to do this, so that they'll give it to retailers like maybe Adansi or Muntouch or any of the retailers, Kaya Tours or any of the retailers to sell. There's no such thing. So what you find is that if Adansi want to sell a tour in Ghana, you have to be the wholesaler, I have to be the retailer and do the operator. So playing all these roles make it difficult for one agency to be able to make impacts. And so until we're able to fashion the tour in this direction, we will not be able to do much because the efforts will be duplicated, because every agency is duplicating the wholesaling efforts. And when you duplicate efforts, you waste time, you waste resources, you waste energy. And so that is what we are advocating for, that there should be done.
For the tour wholesaler. All right, so you said you are advocating for a tour wholesaler.
Yes.
Do you want to be part of that tour wholesaler? Is it a company? Is it people coming together to form that company to be the wholesalers? Are you looking at the government being the tour wholesaler? If I say the government, maybe GTA, Ministry of Tourism, or you think that other travel agencies or other businesses, investors can come together and form this tour wholesaler so that retailers will benefit from it?
Yes. So I mean, there's virtually nowhere where the government is the tour wholesaler. The government is always the referee or the regulator. So it's difficult if the government has to be the tour wholesaler. So that one is we put that one aside. So obviously it will be a private person. For the government, will still have to regulate that wholesaler and make sure that there's a fair distribution of resources, and also they provide better service. So the government will also provide support to the wholesaler in that direction. So personally, I think it's a private thing. it's the investment that is required. Sometimes most investors would like to see how committed the retailers and the consumer market is in investing in a wholesaling unit. So and I have seen that also the skills to create the experiences cut across, and it's as of now we don't have a unit with only that. So what we have found that will be useful and which we are working on is to bring a team of agents together and form an umbrella business unit. Okay. And then once we form an umbrella business unit, we can then leverage on the strength of the members. And then when the product comes out, the product will belong to any one member. And right away, the members of that umbrella association becomes the retailers. And then other agencies who are not members can also retail. Okay. So, and then we can have even hotels.
Let me just cut in. So if I understand correctly, a number of agents are coming together to form a business. So a partnership. So let's say a limited liability company to do the tour wholesaling.
Yes.
But these same members will be known as retailers for this concept. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So when and you cannot put 50 people together to form a company. So what will happen is that you need about 2 or 3 people who are passionate and willing to invest a little money to form that business unit. And once you form that business unit, you then have to enroll the others as members of the association with some benefit that they will accrue from the system because it will help their businesses do well. So once you enroll them, the name of that alliance becomes the wholesaler unit of the tour. Okay. So if let's say the alliance is, let's say, Tourism Business Bureau, or that bureau become the tour wholesaler in Ghana. And because it already have maybe 50 members who buy into that concept, when the bureau put up a package, there's already 50 retailers who are willing to go and sell.
Oh, okay.
So if we want to go to Kakum, or we want to do a trip to Mole Park, and the bureau has secured a bus with STC. When you go and secure a bus, STC will ask you to pay, let's say, 25% down. So who will make that investment? It is the bureau.
Okay, so the bureau will make the investment, and then the agencies will sell the package.
Exactly.
Wow,
because
that's wonderful.
Taking that risk of making the investment. Maybe you call Awad that you need a flight for 2 months' time. They will give you the rate. They ask you to pay like 30% down. Somebody has to make that investment. So before the package is even formed, there will have been some investment that had been made, and that wholesaler is the one who makes all those investments. And then once he makes that investment, he's very sure that he could sell because he has about 50 retailers who, even if they sell one each, he will be able to get 50 people
to fill the bus or to fill the flight. Oh, okay.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Exactly.
So, a company made up of, say, 3 partners, but in that company you have your retail agencies as well. So can I look at it as an association, or it will be a limited liability company?
Yes. So you can look at it as IATA.
As IATA. Okay. Wow. But this is IATA in Ghana.
Yeah.
That's a wonderful concept. I see.
IATA is an association. Okay. It's an association, but it's not an NGO.
Oh,
Are you
okay.
getting it?
Okay.
The a limited liability or it's a business unit, but in this concept, it's more like an association. Okay, so the members of IATA do not share in loss or profit of IATA. Okay, but they have accrued benefit for being members, for
IATA.
being able to, yes. So, and then they pay some money to IATA so that IATA can run its operations. Okay, then they can be able to benefit from what IATA has brought together. So it is the same kind of concept we're working on, so that once that association is formed, when you are a member, you are not necessarily going to share in loss or profit of that establishment. But then you have already arranged members that you a benefit that you accrue. So let me give you a typical example of, let's say, training. Okay, so if Adansi want to train, we have 19 staff. Okay, so our 19 staff, let's say we want to do training for tour packaging or for any unit of our business. We may have only 3 people who qualifies within our staff who need that training. If I go and engage an IATA accredited trainer, I'm going to spend the same time will I spend on 20 people on my 3 people. So it becomes expensive for me to pay
them.
So yes, but this association, this bureau can contact the same IATA accredited agent, organize maybe customer service training in travel or any other training. And then the members will bring 2 staff, 1 staff, 3 staff, and we get like 20. And then we can leverage on the costing by paying something small per member and to the trainer, instead of Adansi alone paying the whole amount for the training, and we still get the same kind of training.
Wow, this is really nice. Yeah, it's really nice. I think this is history in the making for our industry in Ghana, and I'd urge you to get your people together and hit the road running, because it would really help. It would really help in building the tourism industry in Ghana. But for it to help, for all of us to see its effects, some people need to invest in it. And for this investment, is for the bold in heart. Because seriously, if you are not bold, I don't think you'll be able to invest in this business, because it's a new concept.
Especially around this time where
we don't know where the industry is going to.
Exactly. So people's investing in it is but then I must say we are advanced. We found 1 or 2 people who are ready to invest. We are at the registration stage, and once the registration stage is done, now we will do a launch, or we do an invitation for agents to then join. And we are making sure, because of COVID, we have to ensure that agents who want to join will join for free without incurring any cost. And then we can start operating it for a period of time and see the interest. Or then once they see the benefits, then nobody will tell every member that, why don't you contribute something small for the association to be able to do more for us. Are you getting it?
Okay.
And this same business alliance will then become a pressure group for the existing associations.
Okay.
Existing associations that are not business oriented, because they have advocacy rights with government. They have a lot of privileges when it comes to government, because they are in that, they are not a business unit. Are you getting it?
Yeah.
So what they can do in terms of business is limited. So when you have a group like this, it can become a pressure group. So if you need something from the government, we can give pressure to TUGA or GATA or any of the associations to act on our behalf. So it doesn't really compete. It doesn't really compete with the existing
associations. But you just want to act as a pressure group in pushing them to do their jobs. That's a wonderful concept. I'll give the chance to 3 people to ask a question or make a contribution. So as we wait for 3 hands to be up, let me read our chats. We have from Radia, she's saying we should encourage ambience tourism in Ghana. And most importantly, let's encourage tour wholesaling in Ghana. It will make domestic tourism much easier for all agents. I have from Ebue Bichem, excellent concept. Ayata of Ghana, excellent concept. Gideon, what depth of knowledge. Then we have, okay, so I think those are the comments. Please, anyone who wants to make a contribution or ask a question can raise your hand and then you'll be called. But Gideon, if one wants to invest in this concept, what do you need? Because seriously, as I'm listening to you, I want to invest in this business. What do I need to be part of this? As you know, I'm a champion for domestic tourism, and I think that this thing would work if really done well and marketed well. So Elizabeth wants to invest in this, your business concept. What do I need?
Okay, so you see, tourism is one business I've seen that cater for all interests. It is not a business that feed only one mouth. Okay. So I think and that's why I really passionate about even the domestic, because when we send people out there, which forms 90% of our business, we see how we contribute to the economy of most people there. So, and when we get people coming from elsewhere to Ghana, we also see how people benefit. So we believe that once we need, the hard part is we getting the registration done and getting a concept going. Once we get a concept going, we are going to get several lines of investment from people. Mm-hmm. So let's say, Lisbeth, you now know that there is this business association that you can invest in a particular experience, okay, and that you can partner with that association, and then you come out with an experience that the members of the association, yes, you do a presentation, yes, we will sell it for you. So it becomes a business wink for you, for everyone who wants to, maybe you have identified, and I know you have identified, you always speak highly of Takrady, you've identified something there, okay, that you want, but you are not too sure of how to go about it and whether people will even buy into it. Mm-hmm. So that is where we are going to have the investment. We are going to have the investment per project. So once you identify project, you have this business association to support you. And then they're able to convince their members that, look, this is a good thing we can let Ghanaians see. So let's sell it. And Lizzie is willing to put in some investment and the association will support it. And then we can blow it up for the members and then Ghanaians will get the chance to go and see. So the hardest part, I said, is what we are doing. Once it's done, we will have several lines of investment coming from people who will be interested to
be part of it. Okay, thank you. So we have a question. The industry may be suffering due to the way those who deliver it handle it. How best can we deliver with the basic standard? The industry may be suffering due to the way those who deliver it handle it. How best can we deliver with the basic standard?
All right. So when you say basic standard, it's relative. So what is basic in depends on the expectation of the tourist. Okay. So if you are hosting clients from US, okay, you are hosting clients from US visiting Ghana. what is their basic standard they are looking for. If you are moving domestically, you are moving somebody from Accra to go to Tamale, what is the basic standard is looking for? I think that tourism is about meeting expectation. So standard that is why the hotels have been standardized 1-star, 2-star, 3-star, 4-star, 5-star. So what I think we should do, which I've cited a document, I don't know whether it's been implemented from GTA, is trying to standardize the various attraction in categories, okay, with some discretion, so that I'm sure I saw they are putting some into category A, first class, category B, A plus, and that will help us to be able to provide a little bit standard, because most of the time it's not about the agencies handling the tourists. It's about also where you are taking the person to. So maybe when you go into Jamestown, you expect that the way Jamestown has been hyped, at least when your guests need a washroom, you expect that there's a decent washroom. So it is not my duty to, as a tour agent, to even think of how to provide convenience, that kind of convenience to the guests. It should be provided there. Are you getting it?
So if I get the question, maybe the person wants to know, as you're saying, you expect that there should be a washroom. But what if there is no washroom? For example, when you go to our forts, you travel to our fort, Elmina Castle. When you go today, the one who tells you the history, okay, may be different from the one who tells you the history in another 30 minutes. And when you look at the two histories, you realize that they are all different.
Yeah.
So what standard are we channeling out there? Because a tourist can go to Elmina Castle today and would want to go there, visit there tomorrow again, because maybe she missed something out. If the stories are different from the 2 days, what do you think we are putting out there? Is there a way that travel agencies or tour operators can help in training these tour guides because you're building your business and you want the experience your client gets from this site to be a wonderful experience? Do we need to leave it to the government to provide the tour guides? Or we can as well provide tour guides for our tourists? Because I know that, for instance, let's use Dubai as a case study. When you go to Dubai, your tour experience starts right from the airport to the sites. Even the bus that takes you to the tour sites, you get to know the history of the country. Do we have something like that in Ghana?
Yes. So what makes Dubai easy to do their tourism is because they've standardized their tour guiding work. Okay. So you can't even open your mouth when you have not been licensed. Okay. So every tour guide is licensed. And the licensing means that they take you through various attractions and what to say and what not to say. So if the Ghana Tourism Authority also start doing something like that, it will help. You see, a private person cannot license or cannot license or standardize a system.
Okay.
Because once you are private, you don't have any enforcement rights. Okay, we don't have enforcement rights. You cannot enforce. You cannot tell Elmina Castle that this particular person is the only person you have trained, so it's the only one who can handle guests. You cannot do that.
Okay, but if we are putting that contest into your concept, where you're bringing a bureau out, can that bureau suggest to the GTA to train tour guides in this area. Because what I've realized is that, yes, we have the sites, they are wonderful and everything, but the people who sell it to us fall short of some things. And I think that training is a major part of this concept.
Yes. So we know that GTA know already they have to train them. Okay. So they are not doing. So our interest will not really be to tell GTA to train them because they know. So what we will do is that as they are not trained, is it making our business as tour operators better? No. Are we losing revenue? Yes. If you are losing revenue, then can we offer free training where we perhaps maybe absorbing the cost with the idea that we are going to maybe reap the benefits by way of subsequent business we do. So as an association, we could organize a training for such people so that they can be able to meet our expectation. For all you know, some of these people do not even know the customer expectation because they are not the one who get the client. Yeah. We get the client and we get the feedback after the visits. So maybe the polishing will come from us when we have put together a document or something that we need, get a trainer. And honestly, some of these things, when you do it in a bulk, it doesn't cost too much, which when you have an association, you can do. When you are one agency, it's very difficult because you might not get even the right response coming from there. But when you have 50, 100 agents coming together and you are contributing small to train maybe tour guys in some of the hottest locations that we have. I mean, it's a laudable idea that training is one key aspect of our agenda as we are trying to form this.
Okay, training is part of your agenda because I believe that you can do all things, you can invest your money and everything, but if you don't train your staff, this concept will not go anywhere. You're trying to build experiences, and for you to build experiences, you need to train your people to give correct experiences to this tourist. So I'm very happy that you say training is a bigger part of what you are trying to bring up. Please, do we have any questions? We are about wrapping up. Anyone who has a question or a contribution, you can speak up. Anyone has a question or contribution? I see Radia here. Any question or contribution? I also see Diana Kwashi, Erica Samoa. Any question or contribution? I see Victor Shulamite. I see Sewa. Oh, wow, Sewa. Okay, so Ebue says, is asking, can the association promote local tourism? Can the association promote local tourism?
Yes, that is our primary objective.
Okay, so the objective of this bureau is to promote local tourism instead of international tourism.
The primary objective is to promote
local tourism. Oh, okay, that's wonderful. Any other person? Papa, Prince Azika, kindly raise your hand and I will unmute you. Just raise your hand and I'll unmute you. All right, so I'm going to unmute Sewa. She wants to say something to her boss. Hello, Sewa.
Yes.
Yeah, welcome.
Yeah,
welcome to the Aviation Canteen Show.
Have you negotiated my pay rise? Oh.
Oh, so he's online. You can just negotiate it now.
I thought you were doing it for me. Anyway, it's been an interesting conversation. You know, I remember when we went to Monkey Hill.
Yeah.
That disaster.
Oh, I know, right?
Yes.
When the tour guide could not tell us anything.
It's awful. I mean, there's so much we have to do, and I think the previous meeting we talked about coming together. That is one thing I think we struggle as Africans.
Mm-hmm.
If, as my boss said, if there are agencies, we pull our heads together and we decide to implement policies, just as we go and we see it out there, we can bring it home. But one agency cannot do it. You guys know how Adansi Travel is. We are fighting so hard. We are forefronting the fight of tourism, home and abroad. Yeah. And so we all need to come together. Competition is good, is healthy. But in this day and age, competition, it also means coming together at a point.
Yeah.
If we don't meet at an apex somewhere, we will fight each other and will not come to nothing. So let's hit some of the things that Mr. Asari have already mentioned. Let's invest in, investment eventually would yield results. If not for us, at least for our generation, and then we can improve our local tourism. We can help start solving the Monkey Hill situation, like the training you just mentioned about. If those guys are trained and they can give us proper history, we can be taking people there, So that's my contribution. You guys are doing a good job.
Thank you, sir. So it's all about unity in strength, coming together to build a bigger force. That's all. But I think that the reason why Ghanaians, we are not able to come together is that everyone wants to be called the CEO, the MD, the general manager, without thinking about the bigger picture. You can be in a company, you are not the CEO, you are not the general manager, but the cash that comes to you on a daily basis is more than even the CEO. And I think it's high time we start thinking in that regard. All right, so I see from Ebue Bisham, I foresee a future where tourists from abroad can book a 7-day tour of the whole country, just like how City FM has their heritage tour. Yes, it can be done if it is done together, because one company cannot do it. It has to be done in partnership with others. Raymond says, if someone is involved with the City Heritage Caravan, tell us how this was done. Raymond from Sunlight Travel and Tours, Bolgatanga. If someone is involved with the City Heritage Caravan, tell us how this was done. Gideon, would you be able to answer that?
Yeah, so the Heritage Caravan is one beautiful project that City FM have done, and it's if a media can do this, then when it is also done from our points where we have input of these members from different tour operating together, we could even do more. And it's not something beyond us as country, because we sit here in Ghana and we do 10-day trip to 4 countries in Europe. Yeah. Where we don't rely on any type of, we arrange our own things. We do for Asia, we do 14-day trip of 4 different countries, where we put 50 people or sometimes even more together and move them on flights, get down, put on and move hotel here. We do it. So it is not beyond us to do for our own country, where we are not taking flight in and out, or we are not doing so much arrangement. So I think that example shows that it just shows what we can do as a business once we come together. So And I'm very sure that once this concept starts flowing, we will be able to do some of these things and standardize the package. So that it wouldn't be annual affair like CTFM does it, but it
Yeah,
will be a standard
everyday affair. That every
affair.
day we
Anytime
have people on the road.
who are on the road, yes, people are on the road every time, yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So I'm asking the last question, and then you can add your concluding remarks to it. What is your general view on how to rope government in the growth of the sector? What is your general view on how to rope government in the growth of the sector? How do we get government involved to grow the industry?
I I think that the first thing is that governments also operate like a business. Okay, so at times I know there's another aspect of government, the social aspect, but when it comes to making investments, it's also about the returns. Okay, so are there some areas that the government had already done the investment? We as tour operators can sell it and generate more revenue. So that the government will see that, okay, when I put the resources to Mole Park and I did the road and I did a nice entry at Mole and I did this, one, I got a private company to build a hotel called Zena, Zena Lodge there.
Mm-hmm.
Two, I've seen that the entry ticket I'm getting from Mole have moved from 1,000 to 2,000 to 5,000 to 10,000. And so the investment I made there is what emulating in other national parks that we have. Okay, so what first of all we as tour operators have to do is to look at the area, the one that is slightly developed or developed to a certain standard, and concentrate on those areas and multiply the sales, make Ghanaians see it, and then create a hype around it. The government will see that he can do multiple effect of what he's getting there on other sites. So besides the advocacy, the media engagement, and all the other things that already we are doing, this is another wing that I think as tour operators we can do to also kind of be able to use it to make a case to the government so that when we meet them, we don't only speak like, oh, you have to do this. You show figures that, please, minister, you see that Mole Park was recording 10,000 guests.
Mm-hmm.
When you did for a year, when you did the road and you did the washrooms and you did this, now 10,000 has moved to 100,000.
Okay.
And this is how much the government has gained for doing that. And this is the employment that it has created. So if you put this same investment in Ankasa Park or another park elsewhere, we're going to reap similar benefits. Are you getting it?
Yeah.
So our engagement should then speak of volumes, speak of figures, either than most of the time it has been the same song we sing, which doesn't get response. So personally, that is what I think we can do. And what we plan to do in terms of the association or the alliance, in a way, one of the things we also to be able to collect data from our members so that we can document exactly what they are selling. Most of us don't collect the data, document our data, and so we don't even know how many people we send to Mole or Kakumo. So we can't speak with figures. So as association, we will help our members to have a simple format where they can use to collect their data and know how many bookings they are making to these places. And we put it together, and then we can present it as a case study to make government invest in other projects or tourism sites in the country.
Okay. Thank you very much. So it has to start from the tour operators themselves before government will be able to factor in. So you need the data. Data is important. What are you going to do to get that data? How are you going to get the data to show to government?
Yeah, so like I said, data is about recording what you are doing, and then you get a data. So we will help our members to develop a simple format where they can record whatever sales volume they are doing. Every time they make a sale, we will record. So our admin office will collect the data. So he's taking data from all the members, and then we can furnish GTA with it, and
Okay.
it will help them see exactly what we are doing. And based on that, when you are making requests for improvement on other parts, so let me also add that what I have said, it doesn't mean that that's the only way. I'm just saying that there are a lot that are being done. The advocacy government they have their budget every year. They advocate budget to allocate budget to tourist sites. But
Mm-hmm.
on top of that, we can also do this as tour operators in our own small way to also push them. So when they get this data from us and they will be able to make a case, the ministry will put all this together. And then when they go for cabinet meeting and they are talking, they can also make a good case with data. That is what the tour operators in Ghana are doing. And so I think that is what our investments.
Okay, thank you. I love the concept of one voice of tour operators. And I know that when tour operators come together, definitely our tourism industry will thrive. Kindly give us your concluding remarks, and then we'll close the curtain on this program.
So, so for those who are listening, like I said, we are at the registration stage, and once we are done, we will then have an invite for everybody to know about it and sign up, and then together, once we get a sizable number, we can then engage the GTA and other people, and then they will know about our programs, and then together we can build the local tourism together. I think that the COVID has provided all of us a moment to think, to strategize, and also to do things differently. So we don't want to go ahead and do the same thing that we used to do. We want to look at what differently we can do in terms of how we package, how we sell, how we service our clients, and all that. People are more safety conscious, and also they are looking at the risks of losing their money when they book trips with us. How are we going to eliminate all this from their head for them to make a booking? We have to think about that. We have to always see how we can keep our clients safe, keep their money safe when they make a booking, so that they can have the confidence to say that, yes, I'm booking a trip for December, even though I'm not too sure whether I will travel or not. But your outfit has given me enough grounds to give you the money, thinking that even if I don't travel, I'll not lose money or something. So that is my concluding words. They should look out for that, and everybody should stay safe and keep observing all the safety protocols, as the COVID is not yet over yet. So that's my last words. Thank you for having me. Thank you all for joining.
Thank you, Gideon, for joining the Aviation Canteen Show today. My takeaway from this program is that unity and strength. We need to have one voice if we want our industry to work. And then there has to be more training. More training. We need to train our people in giving out the best experience that is needed, so that clients will come back again. I'm so grateful to everyone for joining today's program. This is the Aviation Canteen Show, where we serve it hot. And in the Aviation Canteen Show, we look at personalities. We look at people who are doing more for the industry. And today we had Mr. Gideon Asare from Adansi Travels. Let's all come together. Let's join the dream. What he has told us today is laudable, and it's something that would push the name of Ghana out there. Let's all come together, help them to achieve this, and let's be part of this dream. Thank you all, and I hope to see you next week. If you are here and you have a project or something, you want to talk about the industry, you want to come on the Aviation Canteen Show, kindly get in touch with me. My phone number is 0243 012781. 0243 012781. WhatsApp me, call me, and we'll surely see you online in our subsequent weeks. Thank you and bye-bye.